Now, before we proceed to the step where we're going to check for holes in the leather and imperfections in the fur, I want to take the main part of the coat and do the same thing that we did with the collar, and that is to cut it into a couple pieces so that it lays flat and it's easier to lay our pattern pieces on. Now, as you can see, the coat here has two main parts, or three main parts. It's got two front pieces like this, and then it's got the back piece. So I want to cut it into so that it's three big pieces. I'm going to look for, there is the main side seam here, and that goes up to the sleeve hole. So we'll just go, pick one side of the Y, just like we did with the sleeve. Slip that up that way. Just pick a side of the seam to snip on and go with it. Or to do your best to glide this bottom blade of your scissors underneath so that you can keep the fur chopping to a minimum. That. And then we do need to snip at the seam at the shoulder where it joins up. We're going to do the same with the other side. Now our next step is going to be to check for imperfections. I'm going to pull as many of these little small threads out of here. It's not imperative that you get rid of all of them, but I like to get rid of as many of them as possible. Now what we're going to do is look for any holes. Now, if you remember, we removed a couple of hook and eyes, and when we did that, there was a bit of a hole in the leather, and so we took our Sharpie and drew a circle around it because we don't want to include that in any part of our bare pieces when we're laying the pattern pieces out. And there's another one. I'm going to take a look on the fur to see if there are any other holes. Now this is where the pocket was, so we want to remember obviously to not lay a piece right over the pocket. I see a little bit of a split right here. There's a couple of little holes here, but they're kind of close together. I'd just like to avoid that, and it's near this bigger hole anyway. So I probably won't be using quite this part of the coat. My next step is to turn it over and see if there's any imperfections in the, or major imperfections in the fur that you would not want included in your bear. There's a couple here that I don't want, and that is, I don't know if you can see this little bit here and here. So I am going to use one of my needles. I'm going to use the needle as an indicator. See how that fur is just kind of, that may have been where a button was. So I'm going to just poke the needle, and this is about a quarter size area. Poke the needle through, and then I'm going to take my marker, and it was about a quarter. I'm going to go wide. Do the same here. There it is. If you needed to make a number of bears and you needed every inch of fur that you had, then what I would do is put this on an inside leg up near the top or something where it's not going to be visible. But the easiest thing to do is to just avoid using it. So now I'm going to do that with the rest of the fur. Okay, I've got the majority of the coat marked on the back to let me know where there's some bad parts either on the fur or if there's a small hole in the leather. And there is one extra thing I want to do with the collar. I may or may not end up using the collar, but I want to get the fur ready to go anyway. I noticed on two of the collar pieces, because remember I've cut each collar in half, but I noticed that each has this on it, so I'm going to remove that first. This was to help shape the collar of the coat as it draped across the shoulders. Okay, now I've got those two pieces removed from the collar. I want you to take a look at each of these pieces, and you'll see that the fur still goes in a couple different directions. Now here it's going down like that, but if you get here, the fur is going in that direction. So I'm going to look, get my Sharpie out, and see where that fur, where it changes direction, and it looks like it's right about here. Flip it over and draw a line on the back, an arrow indicating what direction the fur is going, and then here it's going this way. And I am going to do that for all the other collar pieces. We've marked the direction that the fur is lying, which we call the nap. On the collar pieces, I want to do the same thing on the rest of the coat. So determining the direction of the nap, the direction that the fur lies, is fairly easy with the rest of the coat because the furrier designed it so that the fur would all go down when the person is wearing the coat. So I'm just double checking, and this was the sleeve, and everything is going in the same direction, which is down. So I'm going to turn this over, just put an arrow like that to remind me what direction it's going. Same for this one. The reason we're putting the arrows on the back of the fur and so that we know which way the fur is lying. And then when we set our pattern pieces on the back, the pattern pieces have arrows on them. The arrows on the pattern pieces to run down in the same direction as the arrows that we drew on the back of the fur. I like to draw the arrows on the edges because I just don't want to put a big arrow in the middle where I'm going to be putting my pattern pieces. So our next step is to get our pattern ready.